I never thought my dream home would become the stage for a battle I didn't ask for. Picture this: a quiet suburban cul-de-sac, my backyard oasis tucked away behind a tall wooden fence, and a pool I'd worked years to afford. That pool wasn't just water in a hole. It was my sanctuary. But the first time I found ripples cutting across the glassy surface while I stood inside my kitchen, coffee in hand, I knew something was wrong. It wasn't the wind. When I walked closer, peering through the sliding glass doors, my heart skipped a beat. Floating lazily on a bright pink inflatable chair was a woman I barely knew but had seen enough of to recognize. Karen, the infamous queen of the HOA. Her oversized sunglasses glinted in the sun as she sipped from a tall tumbler like she owned the place. My place. I slid open the glass door. She lifted her shades casually. "Oh, good morning," she said. "Hope you don't mind. It was so hot and, well, your pool looked perfect." "I mind?" My jaw clenched. "This is private property," I muttered. Karen just smiled. "We're all neighbors. Sharing is caring, right?" She then leaned back, shutting her eyes like it was her birthright to float there. I was too stunned to push further that day, but I knew this wouldn't be the last time. Days later, I came home early from work to find her again, this time with a couple of her friends splashing around like my backyard was a public resort. I had installed new locks on the gates. She found a way over. I put up "no trespassing" signs. She tore them down. This wasn't a one-time intrusion. This was a campaign of entitlement. At the next HOA meeting, she didn't just admit to it, she tried to normalize it. "Isn't it selfish to keep wonderful amenities hidden away?" she asked the room, her eyes flicking toward me with a smug grin. "Why not allow responsible neighbors occasional access? We're all family here." She was planting seeds, trying to turn her trespassing into a community virtue. The turning point came on a Saturday afternoon. I had a few friends over for a barbecue. We were laughing in the backyard when a loud splash cut through the air. Every head turned. There she was again. Karen. This time, she hadn't bothered to sneak in. She had marched straight through the side gate and cannonballed into the deep end like it was her own private water park. My guests stared in disbelief. She surfaced with a dramatic shake of her hair and waved cheerfully. "Hope you don't mind me joining." My face burned with anger and humiliation, but that's when it hit me. She was performing, flaunting, her power daring me to challenge her. If I shouted, if I dragged her out, I'd be the one looking like the aggressor. That's how she operated. That was it. Enough was enough. The plan started forming almost immediately. If Karen loved my pool so much, it was time to let her have it. On my terms. The next morning, my frustration turned into strategy. I upgraded my security, installing a set of discreet weatherproof cameras around the backyard, tucked beneath the eaves and hidden in the flower beds. They weren't obvious, and that was the point. I wanted evidence, not intimidation. Step 2 was more psychological. I drained the pool just enough so the water line fell below the tiles, giving it a slightly eerie, uninviting look. Then I scattered official-looking signs around the yard. "Pool under treatment. Do not enter. Chemical hazard." Of course, the pool was perfectly safe, but perception is a powerful weapon. Sure enough, 2 days later, the cameras caught movement. I was at work, watching the live feed on my phone. There she was, wide-brimmed hat, oversized sunglasses, scanning the yard like a burglar. She saw the signs. She paused, and I swear I could almost hear her scoff through the screen. Seconds later, she shrugged off her sandals, marched to the pool's edge, and defiantly dipped a toe in the water. That was the moment I knew my plan would work. She eased herself in, ignoring the bright red warnings, lounging as if the signs were a personal challenge meant just for her. My phone recorded everything. The following week, the HOA scheduled another meeting. I was counting down the days. Karen sat near the front, her sunglasses perched on her head like a crown, completely unaware that her reign was about to crack. When the floor opened for community concerns, I raised my hand. "I'd like to discuss an issue of repeated trespassing," I said, my voice carrying just enough weight to hush the room. Karen feigned confusion. "Trespassing?" "Yes," I replied, pulling out a USB drive. "On my property. In my pool." I plugged the drive into the projector. The screen flickered to life, and there she was. Karen, in full color, climbing my fence, stepping past the "Do Not Enter" signs, and sliding into the pool with a look of smug satisfaction. The footage was crystal clear. Gasps filled the clubhouse. Someone whispered, "Is that Karen?" She shot to her feet. "This is outrageous! You had no right to film me!" "On my property," I reminded her calmly. "And the cameras are for security," which was clearly necessary. The video kept rolling. Multiple clips played, each one showing her on different days, always ignoring the warning signs. There was no way to spin it. Finally, one of the board members cleared his throat. "Karen, this is a serious violation. Trespassing, ignoring safety warnings. I think the board will need to review disciplinary action." Her mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. For the first time, the queen of the HOA had no comeback. But I knew she wasn't finished. 3 nights later, my cameras picked up a figure skulking by the gate again. It was Karen, still defiant. I stepped outside, flipping on the backyard. Floodlights. The yard lit up like a stage. She froze, caught red-handed halfway over the fence in her nightrobe. "Really?" I called out. "After everything?" She climbed down slowly, her composure unraveling. "The HOA is threatening to fine me," she muttered. "My reputation is ruined. You've embarrassed me." I stood tall. "You did that? To yourself, Karen. I just showed them the truth." She glared at me, but the venom was gone, replaced by pure exhaustion. She turned and walked off into the night without another word. From that moment forward, the pool was silent. Her reign was over, and my sanctuary was finally mine again.